Let's take a look at the Eagles' offense. They're scoring about 24 a game. It's ranked 22nd in the league. They're third in rushing yards per attempt and first in turnover percentage. So these motherfuckers love to hand the opposing team the ball, but they are pretty good in the red zone. 73% in the red zone, which we can't. We're not. You'll see. We're not close to that. Carson Wentz has been sacked 25 times, the most in the NFL. His sack yardage of 177 yards is the most in the NFL. He's also tied for the most fumbles in the league. So everyone chirping Danny Dimes and Daniel Jones for being Freddie Fumbles. I might want to take a look 90 miles down the turnpike. Eagles also have the second highest sack percentage. And Miles Sanders, before he got hurt, was the third in rushing yards per attempt and per game. And the Eagles are eighth in rushing yards. The good news for Giants fans, bad news for Eagles fans, is that Miles Sanders is probably out for the next, definitely for this game and maybe for another few weeks after that. Eagles defense, not much better than the offense. They allow almost 30 points a game, which is ranked 23rd in the league. They're ninth in net yards per pass attempt and 11th in rushing yards per attempt. So they don't give up a bunch of yards per attempt. They're also top 10 in fumbles forced, but they're next to last in rushing touchdowns. And they really suck in the red zone. 72% of scores of red zone trips result in a score, which is sixth worst in the NFL. They're the most penalized defense in the NFL, and they allow the sixth most yards after catch. They do not blitz a lot, but opposing teams and DC's defensive coordinators love to bring the house against Daniel. So we'll probably see an uptick in blitzes. They are top 5 in sacks, and they do have a better pass defense. What does that mean for the Giants offense? Hopefully better success in the red zone. That's for damn sure. Hopefully more yards after the catch. Hopefully we'll catch a few penalties here and there to give us some first downs. We're still next to last in points per game. Jones has been sacked 17 times, which is fourth most in the NFL, but we're dead last in passing touchdown percentage, which, red zone interceptions, crucial sacks. Next to last in first downs by run. We're fourth worst in net yards per pass attempts, fourth worst in yards per play, tied for third in turnovers, third in turnover percentage, third worst rushing yards per game, and eighth worst scoring percentage, and we're 25% in the red zone. Is there anything redeeming about this offense? The answer is no. Maybe this is the game we turn it around. The Eagles defense held the 49ers offense in check. I don't know if that's because Nick Mullins just had a shitty game. I didn't really watch all of it. I know that they struggled with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And if Garrett watches that tape and says, hey, we have our own Lamar Jackson, let's just follow that game plan, maybe we'll have the same kind of success. With Slayton banged up, Tate needs to come out. Hopefully Shepard comes back. If Shepard comes back, that'll be huge, because I think Slayton's is going to be like just a living, breathing decoy. He's not going to be able to do much. And then that means Tate needs to step up his game, and fucking Evan Ingram, dude. Let's go Jason Garrett. Figure it out. Giants defense. We're allowing about 25 points per game. It's middle of the road in the NFL. We're fifth in scoring percentage. 50% of offensive drives end in a score. We're fifth in rushing yards per attempt, eighth in rushing yards allowed, sixth in fumbles forced, eighth in yards per play, and tied for the sixth most first downs by pass. We're also top 10 in sacks. We have a better run defense, and we're top 10 in the red zone percentage. We allow the ninth most points per drive, but the second most time per drive, and we're tied for the first most plays per drive. So we don't give up a lot of yards per attempt, but we just keep giving up first downs by pass. And that just goes back to what we've been saying. We are good on first down, not so great on second down, and then piss poor on third down. How do we stop that? And I feel like you're going to see a lot of that on Thursday night, where it's like we shut them down on first down. They pick up enough on second down to make the third down manageable, and then they're able to convert on third down. There are a couple injuries to look out for. Miles Sanders, as I mentioned, I think he's out a couple weeks. Zach Ertz is also out 3 to 4 weeks. Dallas Goedert was already on injured reserve with an ankle injury, but he could be eligible to return this week, which would be huge for Philly. Malik Jackson is looking at 2-week absence, and offensive tackle Jack Driscoll, who was filling in for Lane Johnson, might be out as well. And then Lane Johnson, I think he had a limited practice today, so he might not be available on Thursday night. And normally I would say all these injuries work in our favor and we're going to take advantage of it, but we haven't really shown that so far. Deshaun Jackson is expected to make his return from a hamstring injury. I think Alshon Jeffrey had a limited practice, so I think the Eagles might be getting some people back. Honestly, it's gonna be a close game. I think the defense is gonna make some plays here and there, but I think they're gonna continue to fall into this like weird trend of like not getting off the field and letting up huge crucial third downs that Wentz will look like a magician, and our offense is gonna struggle, plain and simple, unless Shepard provides, comes out and is able to provide a huge boost. I mean, if you remember last year, the Eagles were all kinds of banged up, and Boston Scott like went wild on us. I guess that was the home game that they were, because we played them twice in December. In the first game, they were banged up. We went up early with Eli at the helm, 2 big touchdowns to Slayton, and then it was like the offense just disappeared, and the defense allowed the other Wentz and company to get back in the game with Ertz, and they ended up winning and coming back. The home game, it was like all Boston Scott. Do I have my hopes up for this one? I mean, if we can win this game, I will get a second, third, possibly fourth wind, and really start to believe a lot more. But if I just can't see it at this point. I think the Eagles are favored by 3.5, and I can very easily see this coming down to like a last second field goal or touchdown from Philly, just because for whatever reason, this Giants defense, it's like the crucial points in the game, the opening drive when you're trying to establish a tone, we can't get off the field. So we'll probably let up a field goal or touchdown there. End of the half, there'll be points by Philly. So you can, it'll be 14 to 6, 6 to 14 points in the beginning and the end of the first half. And then you're looking at probably another score towards the end of the game. And that could be the difference. Eagles fans, I don't think they want to win this from what I've seen, because they want change. They feel like they just need change. That the personnel that they have, the talent they have, is not going to get it done. Whereas we're like 2 ships passing in the night. It just feels like we're getting some good play. We have good players in place. We just need to add more and more good players. Whereas they've had the players that have been good, but maybe are past their prime. If I had to put a prediction, I don't think we're going to be able to really run the ball with much success. Do you start Parrott at left tackle and Thomas at right tackle? I mean, top 5 in sacks. That's going to be the huge issue. I think the Eagles defense is really going to have a field day on Jones. So it's really up to Garrett to get Jones maybe mobile outside the pocket. Like I said, zone reads and RPOs. Oh, Jordan Reynon. Giants ran 3 zone reads Sunday against Washington. Jones kept it all 3 times for 60 yards. Whoa, dude. Giants have called 9 zone reads this season, and Jones has kept 7 times for 101 yards and handed off 2 times for 8 yards. So, yeah, I mean, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Why are we not doing that more often? And I think for us to have success against Philly, knowing that they're so good against the run, you're going to have to call a lot more of that. I would call a lot more play action where we boot Jones, get him out of the pocket on the run where he can either throw or run, move the pocket, RPOs, zone reads, all that stuff. You got to keep the defense off balance, and maybe we'll see some gains. But it's the Eagles. I mean, if Joe Judge can go into Philadelphia and win this game, unbelievable, unreal amount of confidence. And I know the Philly is not great this year. I know the NFC East is not great this year. But if you can put together a win here, you got a whole lot of time before Tampa. You can prepare your dicks off for Tampa and Tom Brady and maybe come up with an upset there. Doubt it. But still, if you give them a tough match, even if you come in with a loss, you're 2-6, you still feel better about yourself going into the next 2 games against Washington and Philly, because you beat them before. You put up a good showing against one of the top teams in the NFC South that dismantled and blew the Packers straight out of the water. Huge game. You lose, I think you just go into sell mode. You win, now you have a bit of a conundrum on your hands, because you got a lot of time. Gettleman's got a lot of time to think about it. And I can very easily see him trying to snatch up a receiver for multiple picks. And it's like, if we don't make the playoffs, then it's like we've wasted the more picks that we need.